Before you continue scrolling, ask yourself something honestly. Why do some people stay calm in chaos while others fall apart? Why do some rise under pressure while others collapse? Why do a few individuals become unshakable while most stay fragile their entire lives? This isn't luck. It's not genetics. It's not talent. It's discipline, mental discipline, the kind the Stoics mastered 2,000 years ago. And once you understand these principles, your entire world begins to change. This is where that transformation starts. Stay with me. Every single day before the sun rises, before the world wakes up, before anyone asks anything of you, there is a tiny window of power, so small that most people never even notice it. It's that quiet pause between your alarm ringing and your decision to move. It lasts only a few seconds, but those seconds shape everything. Your actions, your habits, your character, your future. Most people lose this battle without even realizing it. Their eyes open, the alarm buzzes, and instantly the negotiation begins. I'm too tired. I'll start tomorrow. 5 more minutes won't matter. But it does matter because those 5 minutes become a habit. A habit becomes an identity, and an identity becomes a destiny. When you choose comfort in that first moment, you're not just delaying your day, you're training your mind to obey weakness. You're telling yourself, my impulses lead, I follow. And once that pattern starts, it repeats itself everywhere, skipping the workout, avoiding difficult conversations, procrastinating on important work, breaking promises to yourself, not because you're incapable, but because you allowed the habit of surrender to begin the moment your day started. Now imagine someone else hearing that same alarm, same fatigue, same heavy eyelids, same warm bed calling them back, but they rise anyway, not because it's easy, not because they're motivated, but because they've decided that their future matters more than momentary comfort. That person has discovered something most people never learn. Discipline begins when your feelings say no and you act anyway. This is the foundation of every great transformation. Not talent, not luck, not perfect circumstances. Discipline. The ancient Stoics understood this in a way that the modern world has forgotten. Marcus Aurelius did not begin his mornings in luxury, even though he lived in a palace. He began them in reflection. He reminded himself that he had a duty to fulfill, a mind to strengthen, and a world to face with clarity. His morning ritual wasn't about productivity, it was about sovereignty over himself. He knew that if he didn't take charge of his mind first, the world would take it for him. And that's exactly what happens today. The moment you pick up your phone after waking, your mind is no longer yours. Notifications, messages, opinions, disasters, gossip, entertainment, all flooding into your consciousness before you've even taken your first breath of intention. You haven't even opened your eyes properly, and already your attention has been hijacked. This is why so many people feel lost, stressed, unfocused, overwhelmed. They begin the day reacting instead of directing. But discipline flips the script. It says, I choose how my day begins. I choose what enters my mind. I choose who I become today. And when you choose discipline in the morning, you choose strength for the rest of the day. Because discipline is momentum. The first disciplined act triggers the second, and the second triggers the third. Suddenly you're not chasing motivation. You're becoming the type of person who acts regardless of motivation. This is identity transformation in its purest form. People think discipline is about suffering. It's not. Discipline is about liberation. The freedom to live intentionally. The freedom to build a life instead of drifting through one. The freedom to trust yourself again. Think about that for a moment. How different would your life be if you actually trusted yourself? If you knew that every promise you made to yourself would be honored? If you could rely on your own consistency the way you rely on gravity? That trust begins in the morning. Not when life is loud, but when life is silent. Not when it's easy, but when it's difficult. Not in front of others, but in the privacy of your own mind. Your morning routine doesn't need to be perfect, glamorous, or inspirational. It just needs to be intentional. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water instead of reaching for your phone. Maybe it's writing your thoughts for 2 minutes. Maybe it's stretching for 30 seconds. Maybe it's sitting in silence before the chaos begins. The action doesn't matter. The message does. The moment you wake up and choose one intentional act, you tell yourself, I am in control, I lead, I decide who I am today. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. You don't need more motivation. You need more self-respect. Because when you respect yourself, you don't negotiate with your weaknesses. When you respect yourself, you don't delay the life you want. When you respect yourself, you rise, no matter how you feel. Discipline is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming powerful. And that power begins at the exact same moment for everyone. The second your alarm rings, that small, quiet, overlooked moment is the gateway to your new life. Win it and you win your day. Win your days and you win your life. There is a moment in every difficult situation when your emotions surge before your mind has time to think. Someone criticizes you. Someone ignores you. Someone disappoints you. Someone treats you unfairly. And before you can process anything, your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, and your thoughts ignite like sparks on dry grass. For most people, this is where they lose control. Not because the situation is unbearable, but because they've never been taught the simplest truth of all. Your emotions do not have authority over you unless you hand it to them. We grow up believing that emotions just happen, like sudden storms. I couldn't help it. That's just how I felt. They made me angry. This situation stressed me out. But this is the mindset of someone who has surrendered their inner world to external forces. It's the mindset of someone living as a passenger, not a driver. The Stoics rejected this entirely. Epictetus, who endured slavery, humiliation, and constant hardship, taught that the most powerful freedom is the ability to govern your own reactions. He wasn't speaking metaphorically, he was dead serious. He had lived through pain that would break most people, yet he insisted, it's not the event that disturbs you, but your interpretation of it. That single sentence contains a life-changing revelation, because once you understand that your emotional response is created by your interpretation, not the event itself, you unlock a level of power that most people never experience. Think about this. Two people can experience the exact same situation and feel completely different emotions. One person hears criticism and collapses internally. Another hears criticism and becomes sharper, more focused. One person faces rejection and spirals into despair. Another faces rejection and becomes more determined than ever. Same event, different interpretation, different life. Emotional discipline is the art of mastering this interpretation. And no, you're not born with it. You build it slowly, deliberately, consistently. Let's break this down. When something triggers you, there are actually three separate moments happening beneath the surface. The event, your interpretation, your emotional response. Most people collapse these three moments into one and assume they're the same. But they're not. Someone insults you, the event. You interpret it as, this means I'm not good enough, the meaning. You feel anger and shame, the emotion. But what if your interpretation changed? What if instead of, I'm not good enough, the meaning was, they don't understand me. This says more about them than about me. This is a chance to strengthen my patience. This is an opportunity to practice calm. This is training. Suddenly everything shifts. The same insult, no sting. The same criticism, no collapse. The same disappointment, no emotional chaos. You become someone who responds instead of reacts. Someone who chooses internal stability over emotional turbulence. Someone whose peace cannot be taken, only surrendered. This is true strength, not the strength shown in loud outbursts or harsh words. Not the strength shown in forcing your emotions down and pretending nothing bothers you, but the strength of someone who has reclaimed their inner authority. Emotional discipline does not mean suppressing your feelings. In fact, suppression is weakness masquerading as strength. No, emotional discipline is about awareness, not avoidance. It's the ability to notice your anger rising without letting it take the wheel. The ability to observe your anxiety without becoming tangled in it. The ability to acknowledge disappointment without allowing it to define your worth. You become the watcher, not the puppet. But here's the part most people misunderstand. Emotional discipline is not built during calm moments. It's built during discomfort, precisely when your emotions feel strongest. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when someone talks to you disrespectfully, when you receive unexpected bad news, when things don't go your way, when life hits you harder than you expected. These are not interruptions to your growth. These are the training sessions. Every time you choose patience over rage, you strengthen the muscle of self-control. Every time you pause instead of react, you sharpen your clarity. Every time you choose perspective over panic, you elevate your inner world. This is why the Stoics practiced what modern psychology now calls cognitive distancing. It means stepping back from your first emotional impulse and asking, what story is my mind trying to tell me right now? Is this thought helping me or harming me? What evidence do I have that this interpretation is true? How would my highest self respond to this moment? Questions like these break the automatic chain between emotion and reaction. They open space to choose a wiser path. You begin to understand something profound. You do not need to control the world. You only need to control the lens through which you see it. When you master this, something incredible happens. Life stops feeling like a battlefield. Other people stop having power over you. You stop fearing what might happen. You stop internalizing judgments. You stop reacting to everything that touches your ego. Because finally, your emotions belong to you. Not your past, not your triggers, not your fears, not other people's behavior, not random events, just you. This is emotional ownership. This is emotional freedom. This is emotional discipline. And once you develop it, you become someone the world cannot shake. There is a quiet war happening inside your mind. Every single day, a war for your attention. Most people never notice it. They wake up and immediately drift into thought loops, mental clutter and digital noise. Their bodies move through life, but their minds are somewhere else entirely. They think about yesterday's mistakes. They worry about tomorrow's problems. They replay conversations they can't change. They imagine disasters that may never happen. Hours pass, days pass, years pass. And they never truly live the moments unfolding right in front of them. This is the tragedy of an undisciplined mind. Not failure, not hardship, but the inability to be present. The Stoics understood this long before neuroscience confirmed it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not because the present is easy or pleasant, but because it is the only place where life actually happens." Think about it. You cannot act in the past. You cannot act in the future. You cannot make decisions anywhere except now. All your power exists in this single moment, yet most people voluntarily abandon it. They live mentally displaced, never here, always elsewhere. The Stoics saw this as one of the greatest forms of self-betrayal. Because a distracted mind cannot be disciplined. A scattered mind cannot be strong. A mind stuck in another time cannot shape the life in front of it. Present moment mastery is the foundation of all discipline. Imagine you're lifting weights. If your mind drifts, you lose strength and form. Imagine you're having a conversation. If you're distracted, you miss the depth that connection could have had. Imagine you're working on your goals. If your attention keeps exploding into 1,000 directions, nothing sticks, nothing grows, nothing completes. Your attention is the currency of your life, yet most people give it away freely, unconsciously, constantly. A notification, a memory, a fear, a craving, a random thought. And just like that, the moment is gone. Stoics saw the present moment as sacred, not because it's poetic, but because it's practical. Every meaningful action, every courageous decision, every disciplined choice can only be made in the present. You cannot work out tomorrow. You cannot meditate yesterday. You cannot write your book later. You cannot grow someday. You only ever have now. The problem is that the modern world is designed to pull you out of the now. Billions of dollars are spent every year engineering devices, apps and environments to hijack your attention. You are not weak, your environment is predatory. So present moment mastery is no longer optional. It is survival, mental survival, emotional survival, spiritual survival. How do you reclaim the present? The Stoics practiced something they called prosoche, continuous attention. It means training your mind to return again and again to what is directly in front of you. This isn't mystical, it's practical. Start noticing when your mind wanders. Don't judge it. Just bring it back. You're washing dishes. Be fully there. The warmth of the water, the movements of your hands. You're reading. Be fully there, one sentence at a time. You're walking outside. Be fully there. Your breath, your steps, the sky above. The present moment is not small. It is vast when you actually enter it. But here's the deeper truth. Living in the present isn't just about awareness. It's about power. When you're present, your anxiety decreases because anxiety lives in the future. Your regret fades because regret lives in the past. Your decisions improve because clarity lives in the now. Your discipline strengthens because discipline is a choice made moment by moment. The reason most people can't stay consistent with habits is simple. They're not really here when the decision point arrives. They're lost in thought, lost in emotion, lost in fears and fantasies. Presence brings you back to the only battlefield that matters. Consider athletes in peak performance. They talk about being in the zone, total absorption. This isn't luck, it's the removal of mental noise. Stoics achieved the same state through deliberate attention. Marcus Aurelius advised himself daily, do what is in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. This is present moment mastery in action. You stop rushing. You stop multitasking. You stop scattering yourself across timelines. You stop trying to live 10 lives at once. Instead, you give the fullness of your awareness to one thing, this moment, this task, and suddenly your life feels different, richer, more peaceful, more meaningful, more powerful. You begin to see that your mind is not something that happens to you. It is something you can direct. This is the highest form of freedom. Not doing whatever you want, but being fully awake to whatever you're doing. And here's the transformation. When you master the present moment, you master your life. Because the present moment is your life. Everything else is illusion. The Stoics didn't teach presence to make life peaceful. They taught it to make you powerful. And when you train yourself to return to now, again and again, you build the mental discipline required to rise above anxiety, distraction, and chaos. Presence is strength. Presence is clarity. Presence is discipline. Presence is freedom. This is the discipline most people never learn. But once you do, you become unstoppable. Life never unfolds the way we expect. Plans collapse, people disappoint us, opportunities slip through our fingers, and challenges appear at the worst possible moments. Most people interpret these moments as signs that something is wrong, as if difficulty means failure, or resistance means they're on the wrong path. But the Stoics saw something entirely different. Marcus Aurelius wrote a line that has echoed across centuries. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't poetic inspiration. This is strategy. This is discipline. This is how resilient people rise while everyone else collapses. Most people believe obstacles stop them. Strong people understand obstacles shape them. Think of your greatest strengths, your patience, your resilience, your maturity, your wisdom. Almost every one of those qualities was born from difficulty, not comfort. Comfort never forged greatness. Ease never built resilience. A smooth path never created a powerful person. It is resistance, hardship, challenge, adversity that generates strength. Imagine a sword. It is crafted through fire, pressure, and relentless hammering. If the metal could speak, it would probably say, "Why is this happening to me?" But without the fire, without the blows, without the process, it would remain a useless piece of steel. You and I are no different. The Stoics understood that obstacles aren't interruptions. They are assignments, specific lessons, custom designed for the person we are becoming. Your current challenge isn't random. It is targeted training. The problem is that most people respond to obstacles emotionally, not strategically. They panic. They resist. They complain. They assume they're cursed or unlucky. But emotional reactions cloud judgment. They turn challenges into suffering. They make small problems feel enormous. Disciplined people do the opposite. They pause. They breathe. They observe. And then they ask one crucial question. How can I use this? That question changes everything. Instead of thinking, this shouldn't be happening, you shift to, this is happening. How do I turn it into fuel? Instead of asking, why me? You begin asking, What is this teaching me? What strength is this building? What skill is this forcing me to develop? What weakness is this exposing? What future situation is this preparing me for? A setback becomes strategy. A delay becomes direction. A failure becomes feedback. Suddenly, you're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You're a student of them. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, betrayal, and unrest. Epictetus lived most of his life as a slave. Seneca lost wealth, reputation, and friends. Yet every one of them turned hardship into discipline, clarity, and inner power. They weren't superhuman. They simply refused to let obstacles define them. They defined how they would meet the obstacle. And here's the truth. Your obstacle right now, whatever it is shaping you. The heartbreak is shaping your emotional endurance. The financial struggle is shaping your resourcefulness. The loneliness is shaping your independence. The mistake is shaping your self-awareness. The pressure is shaping your inner strength, but only if you allow it. Obstacles are not transformations by default. They are transformations by choice. Two people can experience the same setback. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. One collapses, the other rises. One blames the world, the other refines themselves. The difference is interpretation, not circumstance. This is why the Stoics emphasized control. You cannot control the obstacle, but you can always control the meaning you give it. Meaning creates mindset. Mindset determines action. Action shapes outcome. If you believe the obstacle is the end, you'll give up. If you believe the obstacle is preparation, you'll endure. If you believe the obstacle is a message, you'll listen. If you believe the obstacle is shaping your destiny, you'll rise to meet it. Here's the practical discipline. 1. Pause before reacting. This breaks emotional momentum. In that pause is your freedom, your clarity, your power. 2. Describe the situation without emotion. Not "this is horrible," but "this happened." Neutral, clear, grounded. 3. Identify the opportunity hidden inside. Every difficulty contains a seed of advantage. Find it, name it, use it. 4. Act with intention, not impulse. The obstacle becomes the way only when you walk through it with awareness and purpose. And when you consistently do this, something amazing happens. You stop fearing obstacles. You stop resenting challenges. You stop avoiding discomfort. Because you've discovered that obstacles don't block your path. They build your path. They are the carving tools shaping the future version of you. The more you face, the more capable you become. The more resistance you endure, the more unstoppable you become. The more adversity you transform, the more powerful you become. This is the quiet secret of disciplined people. They don't pray for easy lives. They cultivate the strength to handle difficult ones. And in doing so, they become something rare. People who are not shaped by life, but shape life itself. Look around you. Everything in modern life is engineered to make you comfortable. The temperature is controlled. Food arrives with a tap. Entertainment is endless. Stimulation is instant. Convenience is worshipped. And while comfort feels good, it slowly kills something essential inside us. Our resilience, our drive, our mental sharpness, our ability to endure. The Stoics knew this long before smartphones, food delivery apps, and dopamine-drip entertainment existed. They understood a truth our generation desperately needs to remember. If you never choose discomfort, life will choose it for you. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid anything uncomfortable. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid hard workouts. They avoid silence. They avoid boredom. They avoid discipline. They avoid effort. And as a result, they become fragile mentally, physically, emotionally. Weakness isn't created by misfortune. Weakness is created by the refusal to face discomfort. Seneca, one of the richest men in Rome, intentionally practiced hardship. He slept on the floor. He ate the simplest food. He wore basic clothing. He stripped away luxury on purpose. Not because he wanted to suffer, but because he wanted to be free. He understood that the less you depend on comfort, the stronger you become. You see, comfort creates dependence. Dependence creates fear. Fear creates fragility. But controlled discomfort creates something else entirely. Clarity, strength, confidence, resilience, mastery. The Stoics called this discipline premeditatio discomfortus, voluntary hardship. We call it something simpler: doing the hard thing on purpose. Why? Because the human mind and body are anti-fragile. They grow under stress, not in ease. Just like muscles require resistance to grow, your inner qualities require challenge to mature. Courage grows in fear. Patience grows in frustration. Resilience grows in adversity. Clarity grows in silence. Discipline grows in discomfort. But here's the key. You don't need a crisis to develop these qualities. You can train them proactively, intentionally, deliberately. That's the power of voluntary discomfort. Most people misunderstand it. They think it means punishing yourself or living like a monk. That's not it at all. Voluntary discomfort is about building your strength by doing what your mind resists. Not because life forced you to, but because you chose it. And choosing it makes all the difference. When life forces discomfort on you, you're unprepared. When you choose discomfort, you're unstoppable. Let me show you how this works. 1. Take the cold shower. Not to be extreme, but to teach your body that you can enter discomfort without panicking. Every second you endure is a vote for your resilience. 2. Lift heavy things. Your body was built for strain, for movement, for effort. Strength isn't cosmetic, it's psychological armor. 3. Delay gratification intentionally. Skip the dessert. Turn off notifications. Wait 10 minutes before acting on impulses. Every delay builds self-control. 4. Face the awkward conversation. Courage is a skill. It grows when you speak honestly, even when your voice shakes. 5. Sit in silence with no distractions. No music, no scrolling, just you and your mind. This alone terrifies most people, which is exactly why you must practice it. 6. Fast occasionally, not to starve yourself, but to remind your mind that hunger isn't an emergency, that cravings don't control you. 7. Do something physically demanding daily. Sweat is a form of self-respect. Hard movement trains your nervous system to stay strong under pressure. Each of these choices is small. None of them are dramatic, but the effect is massive. Because voluntary discomfort does something profound, it rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who avoids difficulty. You become someone who moves toward difficulty with confidence and purpose. You start to realize that you can endure far more than you thought. You develop what the Stoics called inner hardness, a quiet toughness that doesn't need to announce itself. And here's the irony. The more discomfort you choose, the more comfortable you become in your own life. Hard things stop feeling scary. Challenges stop feeling overwhelming. Setbacks stop feeling personal. Your tolerance expands. Your stress response stabilizes. Your fears shrink. Voluntary discomfort makes you emotionally fireproof. Most people crumble at the slightest inconvenience, a delayed text, a rude comment, a change in plans. But when you've trained yourself to face discomfort daily, these small things lose their power over you. The world can shake and you remain standing. Remember this: comfort is the silent killer of potential. Discomfort is the birthplace of greatness. You get to choose which one you live in. Start small. Choose one uncomfortable thing today. Do it on purpose. Do it with awareness. Do it because every time you choose discomfort, you choose strength. You're not building pain. You're building power. And that power will carry you further than motivation ever could. There is a truth you carry with you every single day, yet almost never acknowledge. A truth so powerful that it can redefine every priority you have. Every choice you make, every moment you live. You will die. Most people avoid these words like poison. They distract themselves, bury themselves in work, drown themselves in entertainment, and pretend that life stretches on forever. They behave as if time is unlimited, as if opportunities regenerate endlessly, as if every tomorrow is guaranteed. But the Stoics understood something radically different, something life-changing. Awareness of death isn't morbid. It's clarifying. It's liberating. It's discipline in its purest form. Marcus Aurelius reflected on mortality daily, not out of fear, but out of focus. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now." Because mortality isn't a distant shadow waiting at the end of your life. It's a constant companion walking beside you every day, reminding you, quietly, honestly, that your time is not infinite. When you forget this truth, you drift. You procrastinate. You waste your days on distractions. You postpone your dreams, your growth, your purpose. You scroll instead of reflect. You complain instead of act. You exist instead of live. But the moment you remember your mortality, even for a breath, your entire perspective shifts. Suddenly the small annoyances lose their meaning. The petty arguments dissolve. The desire to impress people you don't care about disappears. You start focusing on what actually matters. Mortality sharpens your attention like a blade, not to scare you, but to wake you up. Because nothing wakes a sleeping mind faster than remembering it won't open forever. You start asking entirely different questions. Is this worth my time? Is this worth my energy? Is this how I want to be remembered? Would I still choose this if today were my last day? These questions don't make life darker. They make life brighter. They cut through noise and reveal truth. When you remember death, you stop living accidentally and start living intentionally. The Stoics used this practice to build discipline, not fear, not sadness, not despair, discipline. Because nothing creates discipline faster than realizing your time is finite. If your life were endless, discipline wouldn't matter. You could waste decades. You could stall forever. You could wait until you felt ready. But you don't have endless time, and that makes every moment a responsibility. Mortality forces you to decide. How much longer will I tolerate the version of myself that avoids greatness? When you keep death in your awareness, even lightly, something powerful happens. 1. Your priorities align. You stop spending emotional energy on things that won't matter in a year, much less on your deathbed. 2. You become courageous. Fear loses its grip when you realize the biggest fear, death, is coming anyway. Suddenly speaking your truth, taking risks, starting over, none of it feels as scary. 3. You value people more deeply. Conversations become richer. Love becomes louder. Presence becomes easier. 4. You stop living in someday, because you finally understand someday is not a real day. It's a graveyard where dreams go to die. 5. You find peace. Paradoxically, remembering death makes you calmer, not more anxious. Because you stop clinging. You stop resisting change. You flow with life instead of fighting it. Every Stoic, from Seneca to Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius, treated mortality as a tool, a lens, a guide, a way to extract the full value of every moment. Seneca wrote, "We are dying every day, not to depress you, but to remind you that life isn't something you start living later. You're living it now. You're spending it now. Your life is happening in this moment, not in your memories, not in your fantasies, not in your future plans. Right now." When you embrace death reflection, you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop negotiating with procrastination. You stop living as if you're rehearsing for real life. This is real life, and it is slipping away beautifully, silently, inevitably. That truth isn't meant to paralyze you. It's meant to propel you, because the person who remembers death becomes unstoppable. Not fearful, fearless. Not tense, decisive. Not careless, intentional. Your discipline becomes sharper. Your focus becomes deeper. Your gratitude becomes automatic. You realize that every sunrise is a gift. Every conversation is a blessing. Every challenge is an opportunity to practice the virtues you want to be remembered for. Death is not the enemy. For the Stoic, it is the teacher. It teaches you urgency. It teaches you courage. It teaches you perspective. It teaches you how to live before you die. So ask yourself, if this year were your last, how would you live? If this month were your last, what would you change? If this week were your last, who would you forgive? If today were your last, would you be proud? And most importantly, why wait? Let mortality be your compass. Let it strip away the unnecessary. Let it focus your attention on the meaningful. Let it discipline you into becoming the person you were meant to be. Because someday the clock will stop, and the only question left will be, did you live fully, or did you merely exist? There is a strange paradox at the center of the human mind. We fear losing what we love, yet we almost never truly appreciate what we have. We cling to comfort, yet we crumble when life inevitably takes it away. We pray for good fortune, yet we are devastated when fate shifts in a direction we didn't choose. The Stoics saw this human contradiction clearly, and they offered a tool so powerful, yet so misunderstood, that it can reshape your emotional world from the inside out. Negative visualization. At first glance, it sounds depressing. It sounds pessimistic. It sounds like an invitation to suffering. But the truth is the opposite. Negative visualization is not imagining tragedy to feel miserable. It is imagining loss to awaken gratitude, resilience, clarity, and emotional discipline. It's not an exercise in fear. It's an exercise in freedom. Epictetus taught his students to pause and whisper to themselves, "When you kiss your child goodnight, remember that they may not be here tomorrow." To the untrained mind, this sounds brutal. But to the Stoic, it is enlightenment, because only when you understand the fragility of something do you begin to value it properly. Most people walk through life half asleep. They assume the people they love will always be there. They assume their health will always hold. They assume their time will always renew, until it doesn't. And when loss arrives, sudden, sharp, unforgiving, they are emotionally unprepared. Negative visualization is the discipline that prevents this emotional collapse. When you rehearse loss mentally, not obsessively, but intentionally, you build two superpowers: deep appreciation for the present and unshakable resilience for the future. This is not fantasy. This is psychology. This is how gratitude is wired into the human brain. You don't appreciate the warmth of a blanket until you step into cold air. You don't appreciate sunlight until you've walked through darkness. You don't appreciate the presence of someone until you imagine their absence. The Stoics turned this truth into a daily practice. And here's the surprising part. When you imagine losing something, you love it more, not less. And you fear losing it less, not more. Why? Because imagining the loss prepares your mind for the reality that everything is temporary. It narrows the gap between expectation and reality, the gap where most suffering lives. Tragedy breaks people because they expected permanence. Negative visualization trains you never to expect permanence. You stop clinging. You stop demanding that life work on your terms. You begin to appreciate what is here right now before it's gone. Gratitude becomes natural. Presence becomes effortless. Attachment loosens. Fear shrinks. You realize the truth the Stoics faced head-on. Everything you love is borrowed. Everything in your life is on loan. Nothing is guaranteed to remain. Not your possessions. Not your relationships, not even your next breath. Negative visualization is how you learn to love without illusion. Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding that the job you complain about is gone. Suddenly, the routine you resented becomes the stability you miss. Imagine discovering that the partner you take for granted is no longer in your life. Suddenly, the small annoyances fade, and the moments of kindness shine brighter. Imagine losing your physical health. Suddenly, walking, eating, breathing become miracles. Nothing makes you more alive, more present, more grateful than imagining the loss of what you currently overlook. But negative visualization isn't only about gratitude. It's also about resilience. When you mentally rehearse hardship, you reduce the shock of real hardship. You don't collapse because you've already walked this scenario in your mind. You understand yourself better. You know which strengths to activate. You know which emotions will arise. You know that even in pain, you can respond with composure. Marcus Aurelius survived plagues, wars, political conspiracies, and personal tragedies, not because he was emotionless, but because he was prepared. Negative visualization was his mental armor. Think of it like firefighters doing burn simulations. They don't do it because they want buildings to burn. They do it so they won't panic when a real fire erupts. Negative visualization is your emotional fire drill. When practiced correctly, it creates a calm center inside you, a stillness that cannot be shaken. You stop treating discomfort as disaster. You stop treating inconvenience as catastrophe. You stop treating change as betrayal. Instead, you greet life with grounded acceptance. So this is the challenge today, you say, and I will meet it. So how do you practice negative visualization without slipping into fear? The Stoics used 3 steps. 1. Imagine the loss briefly, not obsessively. Just enough to feel the truth, not enough to drown in it. 2. Shift immediately into appreciation. Recognize how fortunate you are to have this moment. 3. Reflect on how you would respond. if the loss actually came. This builds emotional courage and psychological readiness. It takes less than 5 minutes, yet it transforms the other 23 hours of your day. You become calmer, kinder, more grateful, less needy, less reactive, less entitled. Negative visualization doesn't make you dark, it makes you awake. It doesn't make you fearful, it makes you fearless. It doesn't make you sad, it makes you appreciative. It doesn't make you fragile, it makes you anti-fragile. Everything becomes more beautiful when you remember it could disappear. Your relationships deepen, your time becomes sacred, your priorities sharpen, your discipline strengthens. You stop wasting your life, you start living it. And that ultimately is the purpose of this Stoic discipline. Not to imagine death, loss, or tragedy for suffering's sake, but to become the kind of person who fully values life, fully embraces reality, and fully thrives within it. Negative visualization is not about expecting the worst. It is about being prepared for anything and grateful for everything. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, understand one thing clearly. Most people never get this far, not in a video, and not in their own self-development. You are not most people. You're someone who chooses growth over comfort, awareness over ignorance, and discipline over drifting. Everything you've learned here is more than information. It's a blueprint for the person you're capable of becoming. Not tomorrow, not someday, but starting right now. Because the truth is simple. Your life won't transform because you know these Stoic principles. Your life transforms when you apply them, when you show up consistently, when you do the hard things even when nobody is watching, when you choose long-term strength over short-term pleasure. And if you ever feel yourself slipping, if you ever feel the old habits pulling you back, come back to these principles. Rewatch this video. Remind yourself who you are becoming and who you refuse to be anymore. Before you leave, I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, which Stoic law are you going to apply first starting today? Your comment might be the message someone else needs to see to change their entire direction. If this video resonated with you, if even one sentence struck a nerve, if one idea made you stop and think, then hit that like button. It tells YouTube this video matters, and it helps spread Stoic wisdom to people who need it but don't know where to find it. Share this video with someone who's struggling, someone who's drifting, someone who needs a reminder that they're capable of more than they believe. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Not as a favor to me, but as a commitment to yourself. A promise that you won't go through life on autopilot. A decision to surround yourself with ideas that make you stronger, clearer, calmer, and unshakable. This journey doesn't end here. It starts here. You're building discipline. You're building character. You're building a mind that cannot be dominated by fear, chaos, or emotion. Remember this final affirmation. Say it with intention. I choose discipline. I choose growth. And I am becoming the strongest version of myself. I'll see you in the next video. Stay focused, stay disciplined, stay unbreakable.